Today I'm going to talk about one of the most evilest demons that have ever possessed anyone, and see it possessing people today, people. This demon we once known as Jezebel, and it's a demon. It's not just a spirit, it's an evil, mean, very, very controlling demon. It is a spirit born of witchcraft and rebellion out of the very pits of hell. This demon is one of the most common spirits in operation today, both in church and in the world, and it is one of the most powerful enemies of the body of Messiah, Yeshua. She operates freely on sincere believers whose hearts are for Yahweh individually, and has also obtained positions of power as power within the church. She's very deceptive. I call her a she. This spirit embellishes its stronghold primarily in women, but there are many men victimized by it as well. It is a controlling spirit, much like I put in here the feminist women of today. Like back when in my earlier life or years, and I was married to my ex-husband, the feminist movement began. They burned bras, and they get mad at men if they open doors. They just did not want, they become men haters, okay? Now we do have women haters too, but this is all part of the spirit of Jezebel that's taken over women's lives, men's lives, and our country's lives, and nations' lives. They don't care. This demon don't care. I think that some of you that have known Elizabeth Elijah, like I have known her, will recognize this demon that lives within her. Sorry to have to say it, but it's nevertheless the truth. They advocate and got laws passed to kill their babies, abortions, which Jezebel was a high priestess in the occult of Balaam. She worshipped Balaam. They advocated burning babies. The bull that sat there in the belly of its belly was fire. They killed many babies. What do you think that women are doing whenever they're having abortions? This spirit, this demonistic spirit, it crawls into these women to cause them to do away with their babies, to sacrifice their babies to their god, the demon's god, Balaam. And doctors that perform these rituals are part of this curse and this demon that controls this operation. It is basically a controlling spirit working through the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eye and the pride of life. Its lust offer to gain it lusts after to gain identity, glory, recognition, and power, and a sacrificial the need for the prize of men. It desires of love and self-worth, focuses on self. So this demon's very desire and its love is all about self. making, when it crawls into you and it possesses you, your thoughts totally change. It's the lust of your flesh goes back to your desires. You want to be loved above all. You want to have the power and the glory over all. This spirit is a man-hater and seeks to deprive men of their own effectiveness and spirit or force of all men. I mean, especially if she sees a righteous man, she will bring in women that are possessed with this spirit of her, the Jezebel demon, that evilness will bring them in to attack these men if they try to live righteously. She wants to take away man's authority and a power over others. The spirit of evil festers, and distrust and hate of men is general. The Jezebel spirit is in a controlling agitation. You know, it's just, it's always agitating, terribly aggressive, very demanding. It's callous, tricking, and it has no pity, and it has no mercy, and it's unfeeling. It controls it's controlling, selfishness, power hungry, manipulative, unrepentive, deceitful, and overwhelmingly evil spirit. This spirit is very familiar with Satan, and I would safely say those that are possessed by the demon, a Jezebel, is Satan's woman. Yes. She is high profile type, and those of us that come out of Almighty Wind recognize this in Elizabeth. She's just one of them that is possessed, but there are many that's possessed by this evil spirit. Can be very friendly. And I remember when I first met Elizabeth, she was so friendly. She was so kind, so loving, so attentive, you know. Because she digs down and she finds the hurt, the pain, you know, the scars of our heart, and works on them to her benefit. And she can be very sociable, outspoken, highly visible. She is a woman who wears the pants in the family or in the group that she controls. She will express an attitude of concern, full of forgiveness to do something, praying very carefully, attempting to detail, and you know, when she prays, she'll pray very carefully, forming her words very carefully to trick you and bring her in. She will even portray the motherly, her whole group called her Mother Elizabeth or Mother Elijah or Mother whatever. This is part of the Jezebel spirit. You need to know this. Even this is when she is the most dangerous, as she is most difficult to discern at this time. She rules heavily on manipulation for her power. See, she comes up and she'll mother you. Those that don't have a mother, and seeks motherly love, she will become that. Those that have been hurt and scarred, she will become whatever you need in your life to gain your trust and be able to put yourself into her control. It's all about manipulation. She is a She is a seducer. She is a seducer, a very strong seducer. She seduces you in cleverly to take you in, to gain control and power over you. I've watched her do it. I watched Elizabeth do it. She is the main one I can talk about. I've seen other people do it, but I was personally involved with her for a while when she lived here in the United States. And as I was doing this study, I went, oh my God, I didn't see it. I was deceived. I was deceived. But God brought me out of it, okay? As a method of manipulation, but especially in spiritual seduction, to operate on both male and female, she uses a flattery in the flesh and in the spiritual foundation. In other words, she'll even say, oh my, you speak with the words of God. You are of God, whether she believes it or not. These are words of deception. See, she's speaking power and authority to build you up to her so that she can possess you, and you get this demon inside you thinking about, oh, I am so holy. Oh, God hears me and he speaks through me, and I'm like Elizabeth. You better listen to every word I say. We have it in our government. I was listening to Nancy Pelosi the other day talk about Obama, and I'm going, that's the spirit of Jezebel. It is. And I think Obama has the spirit of Jezebel because it's all about power and authority for him. Men are blind and become easily victims to her seduction as she fathers them with her attitude, flatters them. And boy, doesn't Nancy Pelosi flatter Obama. Women are blinded by their own seduction as they do not expect it, are not aware of such manipulations. You become blind. You become blind to what's going on. Because when the Jezebel spirit comes in and possesses you, she covers your spiritual eyes so you cannot see what she's doing through you. So therefore you need to start seeking and praying and getting all of that stuff rooted out of your life and get her out of your life. Get away from these traits that you may even recognize in yourself, because she's already beginning to get a stronghold in you. It's time to root that stronghold out before it totally takes control of you. Jezebel is often outspoken and argumentative. We've all been there. She is devious. Those that are in her circle and possessed by her manipulating powers, like many men today, defend these type of women. Oh, they're a strong-willed woman. Oh, they're good. They know what they're doing. They'll back them up, but they don't know what they're doing. They're falling into this league of this Jezebel demon and saying, yes, this is good. Well, what didn't it say in the Bible? When they say evil is good and good is evil? Okay. Man-hater. She wants to destroy men. She cannot have a true godly relationship with any man. She will show no respect for authority over her. She hates authority and places that's placed over her. She speaks to destroy them. She sees herself as a goddess. Is this not what Elizabeth Elijah is? She does not want any authority over her, because she's a mouthpiece of God. She tells you that. There are many others that are in churches that are saying the same thing. I am the mouthpiece of God. She has a powerful hunger, a powerful, strong hunger for people to respect her. She considers herself supernatural, super being, superhuman, super in the Word of God, super in His knowledge, and the super prophet that is used by Him. She don't really have any respect for other people, especially those that she considers that has no power. She considers them powerless, and that she has all authority over them and power. She walks through her conquest to obtain power over others, and that's what Elizabeth does. She works continuously to have power over others. She's the ultimate authority, the only one that you need to listen to and hear. And anybody, any preacher, any so-called prophet that says that, let me tell you, you need to walk away from them, because that's the spirit of Jezebel, and they have no authority or power over you. If you are part of the Messiah body, you do not give them your power. Yeshua has gave you power, and they want to steal it from you. This Jezebel spirit wants to steal your blessings, your power that God has given you. She is a spirit from hell and is very intelligent and finds very challenged to control and to manipulate intelligent, able people. She is able to manipulate them so well that actually they worship her. And this I've seen happen, not only with Elizabeth Elijah, but with other people that have got this demonistic spirit of Jezebel in them. And I have seen people worship them. Doesn't people worship Benny Hinn? I mean, they will follow him everywhere. Joyce Mars, they follow her everywhere. And I'm not trying to put everybody down, but I'm just saying these people will demand authority over your life, telling you what you have to do according to their will. That's why you need to read the Bible. The Jezebel spirit frequently sees themselves as being super achievers, super achievers. She is a master in hiding others to achieve anything. She is a master in hindering others to achieve anything. She prevents others from achieving their set goals that God set for them, and then criticize them for not having achieved these aims. I've seen Elizabeth do it many times. I've seen other preachers do this. They'll kind of get a person in there, and God will set goals for that person, and so the Spirit belittles them until they lose sight of the goal that God had set for them. They give up. They just give up, throw their hands up in disgust, and then that spirit, that Jezebel spirit, comes in and attacks and says, "See, I told you you wasn't of God. I told you would fail, that it wasn't God's word, it wasn't God's calling, it had nothing to do with God, it was just yourself." And she will tear them down to the point of maybe even suicide, because that happened one time with Elizabeth and a young man. They tore him so bad that he thought about committing suicide. Thank God he didn't. Self-worship. Jezebel, that demon, worships herself even when she portrays a picture of humility and submission. She's very proud and extremely vain. And in her pride, she talks only about herself. Now you go back to all of Elizabeth's videos. It's always about herself. Elizabeth, has not God told you this? Elizabeth, has God not said to say this? Elizabeth, you are chosen up, blah, blah, blah. It's all about self. It's all about self-pride. It's all about building oneself up and getting people to worship them, to call them mama, to go after them. They won't even walk the road unless their Jezebel guide tells them they can. She can stand... She is very jealous. She can't stand others getting attention over her, and will do all she can to prevent others receiving attention and recognition. If she should come between this Jezebel spirit and the person she is trying to control, she will attack most vigorously to destroy that relationship. She will try to destroy the person's reputation. Is this not what she did with Pastor George? Is that not what she did with me? Isn't that what she did with others? Isn't that what she does even in our government? Obama is a master at trying to destroy other people's reputation in any way and anyhow he can. That's what he did through the election. That's how he got back in. Destroying other people's reputation, undermining their authority. Stop at nothing to separate anyone from her victims. She uses other people as objects where it suits her and needs to gain control, influence, power. Once she has gained the control, desire, she generally rejects and tosses the people aside. If they are in her family, she does this emotionally. And this is just exactly what Elizabeth did, I'm sorry to tell you. I am called a Judas. she cast me totally aside. She asked me to do a favor for her. I rejected it and wouldn't do it because she asked me to pray death for Pastor George and others on here on YouTube. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. That is not God. That's not His Spirit. That's not what He wants us to do. We are not to pray curses upon people. I refuse to do it. Immediately, she began to say to her little group that is brainwashed by her that I'm a Jezebel. I mean, not Jezebel, but a Judas. So what? I'm not going to do what Satan wants me to do. I'm not going to do what this Jezebel spirit wants me to do. I'm just not. My soul belongs to Yeshua HaMashiach. I walk by His light, not the light of some demon that has possessed a person's body. And we need to know this. She has to be Queen Bee. She demands worship from others. She has dominion and control over her home and the group that follows her. They exist just to please her. She requires worship from everyone. She has the need to be the goddess over their lives. And this is true. I've seen it. She tried it with me. I see it all the time happening in other people when they're trying to control people. I see that now that I know what I'm looking for. I see that spirit come out in people, and they will come out, and that spirit just attacks unmercifully, beating them down, humiliating them, trying to take all control and power and authority away from them that God had meant for them. But she destroys it. This is what the Jezebel demon does. Destroys, not builds up. She is exceedingly bossy by nature. She is easily offended if her authority is questioned. That's why she was offended when I said, no, I'm not going to pray death on people. And will respond with exceedingly anger. We all seen that, haven't we? And will respond with exceedingly anger at even the slightest offense. I hope you people out there that's in this occult, in this group, will wake up and get out away from her before she totally destroys you. She demands blind loyalty. This I know for a fact. Unrealistic. She expectation is always unrealistic because others can't meet her demands for completely submission. If they do try, she will be what is the word? She will find fault. No matter. Even if they try to please her, she will find some kind of fault with them and cast them aside when she has what she wants out of them. Money, glory, their power that God gave them. She will take it and steal it and use it for her own glory, her own power. Nothing pleases the spirit and is no win situation. So when you come into under this authority, you have a no win situation. You can't please her. You can't make her happy. You can't do anything that she will totally be pleased with because there will always be that little thing that's wrong. She's not a happy demon. Perfection. This is one of her characteristics. Self-hated in the victims and despising of others around her who fail to meet her aggressive standards, she preaches holiness. If you don't meet them, you will be criticized. She has unrealistic expectations towards herself and others. Thus, she don't have to show respect. She seduces, controls, manipulates. This is a spirit of witchcraft, and it is very, very dangerous demon. It's a very dangerous spirit to even be around, to be friends with. She will use flattery, smooth talking. She will use prophecy sayings and pleasant words and seducing tears. Those of us that's been there know this quite well. That's why we're out. That's why we're out of it. She knows how to use deep emotional hurts and wounds to manipulate and control as she creates empathy, deep ties with others. I mean, she will search out, manipulate till you tell everything about your life to her, and then she will use those hurts, those scars against you to manipulate you and to control you and even possess you. Because this demon can be possessing several people at the same time. Doesn't have to have one. She pulls people into herself and away from those who care, truly speaking the truth unto their lies. She works best in a whirlwind of confusion, turmoil, when she works, and this is when she does work the best. When everything is going awry, that's why her group, her little clones will come out and speak for her, defend her vigorously, even when they're casting their own soul to hell and letting that demon come inside them and possess them and tearing them apart. That's what I've seen more times than one. Because if you say anything about her, they will attack you vigorously. And we've all seen that. This evil demon is like a shark. This evil spirit is like a shark, vicious and dangerous. Like a shark, she will suckle the lies of others, looking for that opening, looking for that teachable, seductive one that will become a disciple of her own. This spirit likes to birth spiritual children, and is that not what Elizabeth's always talking about? Birthing her babies, her spiritual children of her own, as she looks for disciples to eat from her table. She looks and talks those who are in rebellion to God and people who love them that are weak, wounded, those who are controlled, backbiting, fighting, and establishing spiritual authorities. This is one of the spiritual, in Ephesians it says that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principalities of power and higher authorities of the evil principles. Jezebel, this demon, is a very high authority in the principality of Satan. And it knows how to work its way into your life. It knows how to bring that person that's already possessed by her into your life to work around you. And it will circle like a shark, waiting for that moment to attack. She is very possessive, domineering, wants control over others. She loves power. It's like this. Give me, give me, give me, give me. She can't get enough of it. When she is after is power and authority. She wants to control others' lives and to draw her strength from them, controlling others. See, the spirit of Jezebel feeds on your spirit. Feeds on them. She sucks your spirit right out from you. Sucks it out like a leech. To get control and power over you, taking your control and your power away from you. This is what Jezebel does. She spiritually dreams her victims. She wants to control their feelings of shame and guilt, and therefore utterly submissive to her will. She also uses fear. And doesn't it say in the New Testament that we should fear not? Because fear in itself is devastating. And to manipulate others into submission to her. Oh, this is a good one. Self-pity. She uses self-pity and her own weakness to manipulate others to her out of compassion or pity. This compassion is often fatal, even though she will say she is gifted of Yahweh. The Jezebel spirit will frequently operate in the false deception of the enemy by speaking words of knowledge, gained from familiar spirits. You know, Elizabeth always speaks the words of knowledge of God, but she really is getting them from familiar spirits, not from Yahweh himself or Yeshua, but from these familiar spirits, and not of the spirit of Yahweh. This is witchcraft. The power of witchcraft is diversed from Satan himself, and even attempted at manipulating or controlling, sell out more to Satan and strengthen the deception of the person that is possessed by the Jezebel spirit. She will even use prayer to manipulate the one she is attempting to control. She's not above using prayer, especially prayer over that person to create the illusion that doing Jezebel's will is actually obeying Yahweh. Is that not what Elizabeth says? Exactly. Or to grant fear over others, other people's lives, which the Jezebel can thus use for manipulation of them. So, she says that this is a Jezebel spirit that's speaking through us, saying, oh, if you depart from me and you drop out of my group, you will be killed. You will die. How many times have I heard her say that to me? You're going to die. Well, if Yeshua don't come and get me first, well, someday I probably will. Isn't that the way that we all will go? if the end time isn't come and we see Yeshua coming through the clouds of glory and we live long enough, we will die. Is that not what in Hebrews it says? That it's appointed to all men to die once and then the judgment. Nothing new. But she ain't going to bring it on. She's prayed for my death so many times that if God listened to her, I'd already be dead. I would. Poor Pastor George would already be dead because he'd be burned up in a flaming fire in a car wreck. Oh my word. But after all this time, you people, don't you realize that you are serving in her when you admonish her that you are serving a Jezebel demon that's in her? She has no authority over life or death. Her whole attitude is to have power over people. She truly desires to have a great power from the person that she's trying to take over. Because when you're running with a person that is possessed by Jezebel, that Jezebel spirit is wanting to also control you, possess you as well. If that person is pathetic in nature, the actual mission is to destroy them by any means available. Destroy their capability, undo their authority, have a deceit in their ministry, and cause them to fall into sexual temptation. Wanting to destroy the authority that God has given to other people to do His holy will. She wants to destroy it. She wants to say, oh no, you're not a prophet, or you're not a teacher, or you're not a pastor, you're not a preacher, you're not this, because you don't listen to me. And I have the ultimate authority of God. And if you don't join me and listen to me, then you're not of God. This is what she says. True Jezebel spirit. She implies a striving for advancement, wealth, and fame. And this is what she's always wanted. This is what she's always strived for wealth and fame. Her demeanor, her thought pattern is to reach that high loftiness in power and in a position of great authority that's beyond normal human beings. You will find there is no humbleness, no repentiveness in the Jezebel spirit. You won't find any of this. She will not let you humble her. She will not let you call her into repentance, because she's holy and righteous, and you're just a demon trying to destroy her, as she says it. People who have these evil spirits have a belief system that is obviously incorrect and evil. They are very firm in holding their belief. Usually people of deep convictions, they may even have a true heart for Yahweh and earnestly desire to serve Him. And there was a time that I truly seen that Elizabeth had this spirit of truly desiring to serve Yahweh, of serving Yeshua and doing His holy will. But on knowing that she had this spirit of Jezebel within her living and controlling all of the other things around her. Her outburst, her anger, her spewing out her anger and stomping her feet and cursing and praying curses upon people. I've seen her do it. And I just stand there and shake my head and go, woman, there's something wrong with you. That's another reason why I got away from her. Though the true spirit of Jezebel come from Satan and worshippers of the altar of Bala, the flesh, manipulating people into believing they serve the one true God, although the true hidden agenda is self-worship. They have a private interpretation on the Bible, but they will vehemently insist their accounts that they come up with the Bible themselves are true and are from Him. But God help us, they are not. It's a type, and I think this is going on. I will finish the spirit of Jezebel in part 2. I'm just going to end this one right here, part 1. But people, I want you to recognize what the spirit of Jezebel really is. It is a demon, a demon, a demon. And I will finish this in the next video in a few days, okay? So be blessed. Read the Bible, and I will put the scriptures down that you need to read about the Jezebel woman, because she was the true incarnation of the demon Jezebel. Be blessed, people.